Hello, welcome somehow to Movie Crap Live. Are we live? What's going on here? Oh, that sounds like me. Okay, I'm gonna start the track over. Alright, hello and welcome to Movie Crap Live. Oh my goodness. Alright, sending out the skeet and the tweet and the whole fucking thing. Alright, we have promoted this to death. Hello. Thank you, Cornbread. And thank you. Hello, Ramsey R's Purple Goop. Sin Ram Nathaniel Foga. Cornbread, Purple Goop. Not plausible. I will talk about the Matrix. I'll talk about all that tonight. Hello. Oh my gosh. It's been a crazy hour preparing for the stream. Let me move I actually had to change locations last minute because I got a better location. And that is here. I'm in the main spot, which is, to be honest, a lot more comfortable. So this is, I'm happy about that. Oh, hello. Oh, Hats Off is here. Hey, Gary, in all seriousness, are you okay? Not So Studios, Jordan Salafalo, Sir Maximus Hardwood. Oh, awesome, Nathaniel Fogg. I'm glad this is the first show of your new place. I hope you like your new place, man. I hope you and your mom are having a good time in your new place. Whoa, the main spot. I guess it's where the reviews are and stuff. Oh man, I'm sorry you're sick. Chan Talks More Movies. Hello, Zodberg. I'm sorry you got to work early. That sucks. I went to work once when I had a day off, and I realized it, and I walked away. So, and then my boss was like, "Are you sure? I feel like I heard that," and he like kept interrogating me and wanted me to admit it, and I like wouldn't. The guy was a fucking dick. Anyway, not my current boss, my current boss would agree with me. With that said of it. Anyway, yes, hello, welcome to Movie Crap Live. It's sort of a weird movie news week because of obviously the fires in California. I can't not really mention that. It's like impossible for the show to not talk about that. But we will talk about what we can talk about, and I think there's enough for the show, as well as two segments on two recently public domain cartoons, which is including the next Mickey Mouse and the second Silly Symphony, because I reviewed Skeleton Crew, or Skeleton Dance a while ago. But anyway, the bread bird thing is a real thing, and I will talk about it. And I do have source, and I researched it. And when I found it out, I was like, I gotta share this. And I'm surprised nobody picked up on it, or it hasn't. Anyway, I understand. Hello, Daniel Bergen. Hello, Classic Cameron. What's going on with me? Oh, so I didn't get to show. I don't know why I didn't show this off last week. But so on Christmas, I'm a grown-up, I got myself this New Mutant shirt, which is sort of a recreation of an 80s New Mutant shirt, which if I had bought, it would be like over hundreds of dollars because they're really rare. So it actually like sort of was a big deal. So it's like if you're getting something for, I think people were surprised when I get something for yourself, and I was like, no, it actually has a lot of meaning to me. And then I also got this very little Hit Flicks Hit Clips of Danny Moonstar. There's not a lot of Danny Moonstar merch, and I saw this and I liked it more than the action figure. So anyway, so because Danny Moonstar is my favorite character, one of my favorite characters of all time, and I was like, I don't have anything by her, and it sort of sucks that I don't. So I'm glad I got. And I liked that the most when I looked at there's not that much merch of her. Anyway, sorry. Bloxy Oxenwinkle said, can Kevin James direct Incredibles 3? Also, hi, Jim. Hello, Bloxy. Thank you for being here. So, Cornbread did guess the correct energy drink, which is, sorry. I'm a little frazzled from, anyway, Nerd Focus. He picked blue. So he was right. I'm going to give it to him. But, anyway, hello, Steve Meister. All right, let's try this. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, kind of into this. I've actually been, anytime I go to a store and I find a different energy drink, so I have started collecting them. I have another one for next week already. Um, but yeah, those are kind of my two New Beans things. But they kind of, if you're gonna get something for yourself, you might as well get something that like really means something. I think my wife and everyone who asked me was surprised. They thought I just got like, you get a dumb thing. But anyway, I feel like I should just I'm trying to think if they're where's I write notes down. So Wallace and Gromit. If you're wondering, I put this in the Discord. The drink is hats off me. Nerd Focus. It is the green one. It says original. I don't know I don't know why the blue one's different. I didn't look into that. The Wallace and Gromit series, I want to explain this because you were going, and there's another Wallace and Gromit. There is a fourth Wallace and Gromit short that I've noticed some people know about and some people don't. But I'm going in order. So a close shave I hope to have out tomorrow. And then after a close shave, I'm going to do Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And then, so next week I'll probably do the other short. So it that's what's basically going on with that. Wait, who? Oh, hello. I'm glad you're here, Grant Lewis. But my hope is to within January do all of Wallace and Gromit. So it's like a complete January series with all the videos. I think that'd be actually cool. To have like just a Wallace and Gromit, just a month series with it. I hope I can succeed. So like the last week would be the new movie. But we'll see if that happens. But Close Shave should be out. I'm pretty sure tomorrow, but I never know because I get tired or I'm like, I want to shoot a bunch of videos and then I'm exhausted like last night. So it kind of, but I think that'll be the next one. But I'm excited for that. I hope it seems like you guys are liking the Wallace and Gromit stuff. I was a little surprised by the interest, honestly. But I was honestly just going to do the shorts and not the two movies. But I'm like, I think people want me to, and I kind of want to do it, and I got into it. But I thought it'd be a good way. This January is definitely going to suck. So, two more things. If you came here because of the TikTok, well, TikTok is still there apparently. We'll see what happens the next 10 days. But I put the music of Cash Cobain. I've recently discovered this guy and is the chillest, like lo-fi rap music with the most X-rated lyrics. Like this is the horniest rapper I've ever heard of in my life. And I listen to like Baltimore club music, and it's basically like those kind of lyrics with like music you can study and relax to. It's like I was like, I like this juxtaposition, but it's like sometimes if you really listen to the lyrics, it's just like I start laughing because I'm like, how did this anyway? Zane Powers, it's not on Netflix where you are? That sucks, man. I thought it's on, is it in theaters where you are, Netflix? Anyway. Was there anything else? Oh, I saw the Robbie Williams movie, which I've shot a review for, and I always forget the name of it. And that was interesting. That review might be coming out soon. And eventually, the Lord of the Rings thing. We'll see. And I will talk about the Oscar nominations moved. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but when we get to that topic, I'll go more into what I plan to do with the stream. But to be honest, it's a not sure thing. I thought I was going to do a Saturday show that week, but it got moved, so I don't really know, but it's on a Sunday. So no, it's Better Man. Sorry. I always forget for some reason. I don't know. Sunday I'm usually really tired, and I don't know with the kids if I'd have enough time to even do the correct like research and stuff. So it's kind of, and then the next day is the inauguration. So it's just like, I don't know. I'll get into that in a little bit. And I think that's everything. The next, okay. Thank you for watching the Nosferatu throwback. I do plan on seeing Nosferatu and reviewing it. I saw Better Man with my wife because it's her birthday this week, but then I got like this weird stomach thing, like not the Nora, whatever the thing is that everyone's at, but I wasn't like in pain. Like I didn't want to go, like I wanted to go to work and go home. I didn't really want to do an extra thing because I was not feeling great, but I wasn't so sick that I was like in my bed, clenching my stomach, which I think is the other, what everybody else has with the other thing. I don't know. So I wanted to see Nosferatu. So I hope to see it soon. But it's a little delayed. And then the next one on, I think Saturday, because tomorrow I might have a quick little short that's a little funny thing, and then hopefully we'll also grab it. But is is it Predestination, which is a really cool time travel. I'm gonna look that I got this right because, sorry, I always have to rush. So like the beginning of the show, I feel like I come off all mumbly, and I'm literally checking my channel because I scheduled it. It's a predestination. Oh, I got it right. Predestination, which is a cool time travel movie. It's a cool time travel movie that goes within like time and gender and all these things. For the first place, I saw Sarah Snook, who's on Succession now, and Ethan Hawke, and it's really cool. I think people forgot about it, but like, even if you don't like it, like I don't think I loved it at the time, but I still like can remember huge parts of it. So, like I would say it's like a memorable movie. So if you haven't seen it or heard of it, check out a trailer. It's really cool. But that'll be the one on, I think, Saturday for the throwbacks. Daniel Vasquez, thank you for the super chat. Jim, did you see Titanic 1997 in theaters back in 1997-98? If so or not, what is like being around the film popularity back then? Well, first off, cheers to you. I saw it in, I believe, 98. Cheers to you. Also, it's Predestination's 10th anniversary. That's why I'm kind of doing the 2015. I did 2014 last year. I did see it. It was packed and it was several weeks out. I remember people crying when everyone's in the water. It was insane. Like people would keep seeing it. Everyone at school would not shut up about it. I remember watching E! News when Steve Kameko and Jules Asner were the hosts. And then we just talked about like, can a movie beat Titanic? And like, I think their big hope was like take it out of number one, because it was number one from December till Lost in Space is what did it. But everyone thought Leo being in The Man in the Iron Mask would displace it, and even that, like Leo couldn't take down Titanic. I remember that, but like it was insane, and to the point where like I remember saying that was a good movie. Like I left the theater, I'm like, that was a good movie. And everyone I knew at the time was like, well, you just, but you also hated it. And I remember saying like, no, I don't. I like, it was a good movie. Like, what's the problem? And like for like years as a teenager, people would be like, oh, I remember you said it sucked. And I'm like, I never said that. Like, I think I would say sometimes like it sort of sucks. It's like taking up so much theater space at the time, but, whatever. But it was like so omnipresent. I remember when it came on video, and it was the biggest video release. I mean, this is before DVD. I think people forget that. Or DVD was around, but like not really. But I remember going to Hollywood Video, and they had a table, and I saw it at Blockbuster 2. They had a literal table covered in Titanic VHSs, and these are double-decker VHSs just to rent for Titanic. And I remember the previously viewed sale on it was intense, but it was like everyone saw Titanic the movie. It was crazy. I saw it at the theater. I think it's in Timonium. It doesn't exist anymore, and I could look. There's that website, and I can figure it out. There was a shittier one, but it wasn't a shittier one. It's the same one I saw. I know I saw the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles there, and I saw Sleepy Hollow there, and Hook there. But it was like an intense thing. I don't think the Avatars are close to it. They obviously made more money, but culturally, I don't think I don't think anything. I've never seen a movie like that. I also, Cinema has a thing, and I actually have a thing I remember from it I want to hold on. Let me move this down a bit before I. Sinram. Sorry, I'm always like Sinram would know, but Sinram would remember the Titanic thing. All right. Well, he does. He says that. I remember thinking when Titanic was first announced, with Kate Winslet starring, Cameron's going for an Oscar. No, wish I'd placed a bet. No, because I will agree with that because she was in Heavenly Creatures. First off, cheers to you, Sinram. This is an interesting little. It might have been York Ridge 4, Daniel Vasquez. I can't look that up now. This is a very interesting sidebar. Cheers to you, Sinram. No, Kate Winslet had been in, was it Sense and Sensibility and Heavenly Creatures, which were Oscar things, so I get why you think that. But I remember Sinram. I'm not joking. I read a Rolling Stone summer preview because originally it was going to come out in the summer and they moved it back. And I remember reading, and I wish I had this article and knew where it was. And I remember repeating this quote to someone. And it said, Titanic cost $200 million, which by traditional Hollywood thing that everyone says, to be a huge success, you have to make 5 times your budget. And for Titanic to do that, it would have to make $1 billion, which no film has ever made. So it's impossible that this film would ever make $1 billion. And by the way, it made like 1.8. But I wish I had that fucking article. Like so many years later, I'm like, oh my God. It was the Timonium 3? Okay. Yeah, it was like where the Chuck E. Cheese was. There was a Chuck E. Cheese in that little complex back then. I don't remember. Sorry, it's been a while and it's been closed. They're both been closed for a bit. Anyway, let's get into the show. Wow, I like that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You guys, it's all about Titanic stuff. My daughter loves Titanic. I hear about Titanic a lot. Don't worry. Like my daughter references it all the time. She was Rose for Halloween one year, so that movie's never going away. That's for sure. Whoa. I've heard it's good. My wife saw it in IMAX 3D, and she said it was really cool. I wouldn't mind seeing it again in theater. I've seen it. Sophie's watched it a lot. I know I saw it on its TV premiere. I will say, like, that movie's popularity, as much as people slagged it at the time, I remember when it played on, like, whatever its network TV debut was. And I remember everyone in school watched it that night. Like, it was like, cynical or not. I know. Why didn't Titanic play at the center? I think they had... I don't know what they had, but it was like Wag the Dog or something. That's a major fuck up. That would have been so cool. Anyway. All right. So this and everything I do is for about you, the fans, either through... this was really cool, by the way, guys. Either through Super Chats during the show where you can have an interesting sidebar, or I'll read your comment or question or whatever, and I'll drink part of this Nerd Focus energy drink. Or the Patreon, which is linked below, where you get all sorts of cool stuff like postcards, more power in the movie review vote, exclusive content like the Sonic Subway other takes. You get my commentary series, which hopefully I'll have some of those out soon. You get access to my public access TV show, which if you want, by the way, a way to watch that or something, I will send you a link or something like that. It's the only way to actually watch it on demand. I know it gets played on public access, but the only way to, you could just sit there and watch Brooklyn Free Speech, or you could do it through my Patreon. It has all sorts of cool stuff and helps me continue to do what I do and help this channel growing. We had such a great year last year, so keep it going with that. But if you're financially able to do so, please do so. I really very much appreciate it. If you're financially able to do so. If not, just like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, or watching is really cool. Comment, all those wonderful things. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for being here, and I hope we all have a great show. As well as you should join the Discord if you like this community, which I think you guys are doing a really cool thing here. What do you say? Oh, Sinmark. Okay. Where were we? Okay. If you love this community here, you should join the Discord. There's all sorts of stuff like the general chat where I talk about like what you want me to talk about on Movie Crap this week. The Movie Watch is doing Adam Sandler's Little Nicky. I remember my high school girlfriend saw it with her friends, and I made an excuse not to go. I've never seen it. She was saying like, but Jim, the reviews are good. And I go, oh, I'll get around to it. And then thank you, Cinnamon, for the thumbs up thing. And you get all sorts of cool stuff like movie discussions, the Ask Jim channel, which I think is up to. I think there might be more there. So if you want to give me a suggestion, you're like, hey, stop saying this word so much, you fucking idiot. All sorts of stuff like that. And there's the Licensed Playing Card channel, which I need to post these on there. They'll be posted soon, not tonight, but. And it's a great way to keep up with everybody. And it's there all the time. We do daily questions in general, all sorts of cool stuff like that if you want to do so. It was Amistad. Thank you. I saw that at the Senator, actually. Anyway, with my grandparents. That's a forgotten one. That I don't know. I haven't seen that since. Anyway, thank you very much for if you join that. It's a great community. As well as you can follow me on Twitter, it's Twitter to me, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Facebook fan page, Instagram, TikTok, well, it's still there, all of that good stuff. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Dan. Austin, thank you very much, man. Thank you. Cheers to you, sir. Oh, they did play on that makes sense. No, Amistad. I remember. I don't think it still exists. This is my last bad. We have this has just become Jim Remembers the Titanic stream. I also realized I knew I really liked movies during that period because I liked Titanic. I wasn't obsessed with it, but I found the box office success of it so fascinating. And I love to just talk to people about that. And it was like this really interesting thing for me. But there was a video game on E! News where you could be Spielberg, who was upset that his Oscar movie didn't get as many Oscar nominations, and it was him bombing the Titanic with cannons and stuff. It was the weird. Anyway, I don't think it exists anymore, but man, my link for the. Okay, so the Golden Globes, the Golden Globes happened on Sunday. They were, sorry, my link got, I'm trying to just have a list of them, and there's no wiki. Anyway, and there were actually some surprises, and I was a little surprised by how everything went down, particularly I think the one that you all want me to talk about most likely is the animation category, which surprised everybody. Oh, hey, I was just watching Double Toast's Bad Movie Roast of Little Nicky, aka the most expensive Popeyes commercial ever. Is Popeyes in that a lot? Wow, okay. I guess he loves that chicken pot pies. Oh, thank you. No, Daniel Vasquez, I appreciated what you did. You and Cineram did a cool job there. Thank you. I didn't know that, but thank you, JJ Panda. It's nice to see you here. And cheers to you. I've never seen... Isn't Tarantino in it for a little bit or something? Anyway, it was right after his peak period, and then it didn't do well. No, that was after Big Daddy, and then he came back... What was the 2001? Was that the Mr. Deeds or something? Anyway, cheers to you, JJ Panda. Anyway, Flow, I think, was the kind of big surprise. Nobody really expected that to happen. And I think most likely everyone expected Wild Robot because Wild Robot got so many wins here, so many nominations, had 4 nominations. And you'd think that meant you would get, you think that it would win something, and it won fucking nothing, which was a surprise, especially because Flow is probably, of the films mentioned, other than Memoirs of a Snail, hey, Anthony, I'm doing well, was the biggest... Oh, thank you, Morkel. Thank you, man. I'm glad you're here. That's awesome. But yeah, it was and Cornbread just said the most nominations for an animated film ever, and it didn't win anything, which was kind of surprising. There were a lot of kind of weird things. I think one of them that surprised me the most. I haven't seen Flow, and I really want to, because it seemed really cool. Uh, there we go. There's my right information. Thank you. Jesus. Um. Anyway, yes, I was surprised that Flow did as well. Did that well, but I think it's good for it. It's probably of all the films, the one that surprised people the most, as well as Emilia Perez, which won both Best Musical or Comedy and Best Non-English Language Film. It's from France, but I think it's in Spanish or something. I don't know. I haven't seen it, and I don't really understand what is. I've heard it's sort of homophobic and transphobic and kind of stupid. And it looked like just the clips. I'm like, it looks kind of weird and interesting, but it was also like kind of, I don't know. They did this thing where in Best Musical or Comedy, they have, Wicked is in there, and then they let Wicked. Oh, I didn't know Flow was, okay. Thank you. I think Wicked won their Best Box Office Achievement Award, which I noticed they did last year with Barbie, where it's like musical or comedy, and then they don't give it to the movie that seems like it would be a pretty easy win and, Golden Globes like publicity and stuff, and then they give it to Cinematic Box Office Achievement. And my kind of issue with that is like, I don't mind. I actually am not against an award like that, to be honest. But the whole idea of having an award like that is to let something win that like wouldn't get nominated. Like, I actually think if you like, Wicked should be in a box office achievement, cinematic or box office achievement category, because it was like the biggest Broadway film ever, and it did definitely break records and was a shot. Like, I don't disagree with that, but it's also like, why like, I don't know, it just feels like they just pick the movie everyone wants to win Best Musical or Comedy, and they put it in that, and that wins both years in a row, both female skewing as well. It's like strange how they run that category. I also think it should be films that were surprises, and then films that were artistically huge. Like, it should just be like the popular movies and the weird movies, and stuff like that. But it's weird that like Wicked won this dumb award. I did like that the director treated it like this might be my shot, so I'm just gonna like really go for it in this acceptance speech. I thought that was actually really cool. I think a lot of people are like, what a loser, but like, I don't think that. I think he did a good job. Other than that, I haven't seen Emilia Perez. I don't know if I will, just because it's like there's so many movies I want to catch up on and see, and like I don't have a ton of time. So sometimes like these films that like before, when like I think there were years in the 2010s I reviewed 100 movies like a year, and I can't keep up with that as much as I'd like to. But like back then I would, but now it's like, okay, well, I would like to see Long Legs and Smile 2 and all those things. So I saw Juror number 2. Yeesh. It's not good. Anyway, I liked that Best Original Score was Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, and finding that Elton John likes Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, I thought that was cool. I know he has more interesting taste than people give him credit for. The other one that was kind of a bit, I did actually get to watch it. It was my wife's birthday was going on, and I wasn't planning on watching it. And I think I even said in Discord, I'm not. It's my wife's birthday. It's the Golden Globes. Who fucking cares? But at the same time, she was like, I'm going to bed. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to do this. And I was sort of like, it was kind of perfect because I wanted to just chill. But then it was like things like, I don't know, like, it's cool that Zoe Saldana won because she doesn't, regardless of Emilia Perez, I actually think Zoe Saldana, for an actress who's in as many billion-dollar movies as she is, and is central to, all the Avatars, definitely an important part of Endgame, Infinity War. Not so much. No, she's in Endgame. She's in both. She's important in like all these movies, and it's like I'm always like, why doesn't she feel like we don't respect her as much? She's always like painted a different color. Like when she did that Coke commercial, I was like, whoa, it's weird to see her not be green or blue. This is weird. I'm used to you not being you. It's strange, which is weird. But I'm glad that she won. Kieran Culkin was cool. I saw A Real Pain, and there's going to review that coming soon. I'm happy for Demi Moore. And then somebody was like, she actually won, because she said she'd never won an award before, and she was like, no, she actually won some like really minor thing. I was like, yeah, I don't agree with that. It's just like she never won a major thing. Give her a fucking break, dude. I don't know if Fernando Torres, I missed the I'm Still Here, her winning. I don't really know that movie. The Brutalist won a lot. Yeah, that's true. She is a horror. She's really good as a horror. I think that run of them is over, although the studio keeps trying to get them together. The Brutalist thing was interesting because I think Adrian Brody like really coming back is cool, because I always liked him as an actor despite the SNL weirdness that keeps coming up. But like even him in Splice is really good. We don't talk about Splice enough, but he was great in The Pianist. And anyway, she won a Saturn Award. That's a major award, but it's not. The Golden Globes are dumb, but she can live in the moment. The Brutalist won, and the director of The Brutalist, I gotta say, did not come off well for me, because he kept talking about I made the video about auteur theory. I constantly hear how it plays in film schools, and I feel very honored about that. But at the same time, I'm like that guy was like way too much with the auteur thing. And like to the point where I was like, it's like, you look proud now, but let's see what happens when your, $100 million dream project doesn't work out for you. I'm sure you're going to be, fucking intolerable. I can tell right now you're going to be obnoxious as all shit. But I'm happy for it. I haven't seen the movie. But like every time he's like, you know what they should do? Directors should. I'm like, just like, oh, dude, like I get it. But I'm also like, I don't know. Sometimes with me, with this stuff, is like, I understand it is impossible to make anything artistic. I was talking to someone today, is like most people who say artists have a lot of demands, because I've worked on various things throughout doing stuff, and sometimes the demands are like, we'd like to have water, and they're like, fucking divas wanting their water. What a bunch of fucking divas. And like stuff like that, like you'd be surprised. Like usually the divas are the people the artists have to talk to, not the artists themselves, in my mind. But I get that it's always tough to do stuff, but it's a little different when it's like me trying to put kids to bed and doing stuff, and when it's like a guy who's working with movie stars and has a bunch of millions of dollars. It just makes you go like, I don't know, man. I mean, good for you. You made this movie. I can't wait to see it and stuff. But it's like, I do get sick of that awards narrative where it was like, I don't know. Remember when Spielberg was like, I mean, Lincoln almost went to HBO. I'm like, really? Really, Mr. DreamWorks? I don't know about that, dude. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing. I think someone suggested it and you got offended. That's what it sounds like to me. But whatever. Anyway, I just like, he was pushing that real hard, and I was like, whatever. The thing with the Golden Globes is, are they dumb? Hello, Elwood. Yes, they are. But sorry. The thing that does mess with the Oscars is the nominating thing is happening right now. They are voting. It is sort of the biggest award show that is highly publicized, with people giving acceptance speeches for films that have serious contention for the Oscars. So, yes, I do think it has a little bit of sway. I don't think it is like an early precursor. I think too many of these fucking award shows try to do that, and then that is obnoxious, frankly. Just like, I liked when the Indie Spirit Awards would nominate, like, let Christopher Nolan's Memento, like, swept the awards one year. It got, like, one Oscar nomination. Like, that used to be cool, and now they're just all wanting to be the Oscars, and that sucks. But I do think this one has a little, like, people always disregard it. I'm not saying it, will change things, but I think like people will now consider Flow more. Flow's on the topic of conversation. People are thinking about The Brutalist more. You know what I mean? People are looking at like Sebastian Stan's acceptance speech was really good. Like I was like, holy shit, who is this guy? In terms of like he's it helps their momentum. It helps people's momentum. It does not like change the narrative unless they like got up there and said like, you know what's cool, Nazis or something like that. Unless they do that, but otherwise, like in all seriousness, I do think it helps people's careers and things of that nature. So I've said my piece. That's the Golden Globes. I also thought Nikki Glaser not amazing, but I thought she did a damn good job with it, and I would be happy with her coming back. I thought she worked well with the award show. I think there's not a lot of people who can do that. I think the beginning of the show is sort of awardsy, and then we'll move past that. It is sort of award season, so I apologize. So, but this is the one that is confusing, and I want to bring this up. Sonic 3 is not eligible for the Oscars, as well as Madam Web, and apparently there are 323 films eligible for this year's Academy Awards, but they felt 36% of the films eligible, which makes up 116 feature films, are not allowed to be nominated for Best Picture. These are some pretty big omissions, according to the Wrap. But my thing with this is, like, and there's multiple movies. Oh, hold on. Austin says, who will be the biggest loser like that guy last year who won Cousin Commended? Wait, what? Who will be the biggest loser like that guy last year who Cousin commented? What? Oh, was it the guy who was nominated twice and I kept making fun? Oh, yes. Oh my God. Yes. It was the guy who was nominated twice. And I was like, he has the potential to be the biggest loser. I forgot about that. Oh, and I said it was about a special effects guy, and he like went off. His cousin like went off on me. I was like, I was just joking, dude. And I was like, because it was like in one category he could win, he could lose everything, and I think he did. So, anyway, oh, hey Alex, how's it going? All right. So according to the Wrap, cheers to you, Austin. Thank you. Thank you for that. It took me a minute to like get in there. According to the Wrap, in an article, they said there are certain films now being supposedly they said because of the new eligibility rules that require Best Picture candidates to meet additional benchmarks for diversity and inclusion. This is the second year that the inclusion standards have been enforced, so these do not appear to disqualify any serious contenders. That's what people keep saying. My thing with this is some of this, you don't actually know what the specific problem is. Because this is apparently the most films eligible since 2020 because they relaxed the theater thing because of COVID and stuff like that. But no one's sure, like, no one's really sure what the qualification things are. And the Oscar, they're saying the thing, but we don't actually know. I mean, the Oscars have a whole thing, and they're saying, like, diversity, but they're not saying, like, oh, well, there aren't enough people on set and stuff like that. Like, I also am like, this shouldn't, I don't like this because I don't think this works the way they think it does. Because here's the list of the movies we know about. We have Sonic 3, Madam Web, Bad Boys Ride or Die, which apparently did not meet diversity. Okay. The musical remake of Mean Girls, which I'm also confused by that one. Boy Kills World, the Garfield movie, what? The Girl with the Needle, Harold and the Purple Crayon, and Mother's Instinct. I don't know what that is. But I don't really understand. Like, here, the thing that this does, because these are all, like, Bad Boys was a big hit. Sonic is obviously a big thing. But, like, my thing with this is, like, I know you're probably, like, penalizing people and people are going to, like, hire more diversity and stuff. But I think this, like, there's two things I think this doesn't work for. It's, like, you're picking a lot of popular films. And, like, I don't think one of the things, like, award shows should do is cut out more movies. Like, they don't have to be, like, I don't expect them to be nominated, but, like, what, I want to know specifically, like, what were the issues? And, like, the fact that, like, Bad Boys. Like, that seemed like a fairly diverse film from what I had heard. And I just find it odd that it's like, what are you doing? And like, I don't know. I don't really get it. Like, I don't think it really like preaches what you think it does. And we don't know why. Like, was it like Sonic 3, or like some of these movies went too close, went to on demand too quickly, which is another reason. Is it I don't really get like what was it? And that's the thing I don't like. And especially like the thing with the Sonic fan base, and I keep hearing people say like, oh, people made such a big deal about, Box Office Mojo and the numbers not reporting the numbers for Sonic 3. And it's like, I understand where that fan base is coming from because of the box office fight and stuff, because it wasn't there and there had been a previous setup and stuff. But it's like, here's the thing: is like, we have all these fan bases. We understand how that's the internet works and the movies work and movie fandom works, right? Okay, we get that. So like, you not telling people why Sonic 3 was ineligible is just making people do shitty racist crap. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I went to Reddit and everyone's like, oh, it's diversity, fucking Hollywood, and they're like doing their MAGA shit. And it was like what did we actually accomplish? Honestly, like, are we making them? Are these studios going like, oh, we better hire, more diverse like crew for Sonic 4 or something, so we can actually get that eligibility? Or are they going to go, oh, fuck it, it's Sonic 4, who cares? We're not going to get a Best Picture nomination. And instead, you're just like letting people post more like weird racist crap, and it's just like, I don't understand like what you thought. Like, that's my thing with it. I just don't think it. I'm not mad at the Sonic fanboys. Actually, I'm mad at the Oscars, because this is how movie news and the movie fandom has been for a very long time now. And frankly, you should have known better. It's like, when I tried to look in on this, and I asked Ryan Walterson, I asked people like, do you know why these movies were specifically ineligible? And no one knows. And it's like, I don't like. I just don't. I don't think it accomplishes what you think it's going to accomplish. I think it's sort of a bad move, frankly. And especially like when all the Trump people are like getting on and on about diversity stuff. Like, what did you think? Like, I don't know. I would like to understand what this accomplishes. I would like more data, because it just comes off as like this weird pretentious thing. It doesn't come off as like, we're fighting against racism. I'm like, are you though? Like, I don't understand. It's like, you showed them. I get like, I don't. Whatever. It's like, I just look. You're still the award show that like Green Book won. Don't act like you're for diversity and stuff. Like, you had Black Panther, you had a Spike Lee movie in there, and you went with Green Book. We know how you are. You can play this fucking game with me and all of us and act like we're for this stuff. But it's like, you didn't accomplish anything. If Green Book came out this year, you'd let it be nominated too. So don't act like you're not the award show that didn't give Green Book Best Picture and didn't nominate Do the Right Thing and like all the dumbass bullshit they've done over the years. So it's just like, don't play with us where we think you're like, just because, Francis McDormand said you can demand these things and stuff like that. You kind of show off. I get it, but it's not gonna work on me. I just thought I was disappointed when I really was like, wait, we just don't know. Anyway, the SAG nominations were announced today. Was it today? We found out that Wicked leads the year's nomination. I think Wicked's going to be a big Oscar thing. As well as Cliplino Known got 4 nominations, Amelia Perez and Honora with 3 nominations each. It's going to be interesting to see how much SAG is going to play actually on Netflix at the end of February, but I think we'll see. There wasn't too many surprises here, kind of like who you expect. I'd be curious if Pamela Anderson actually gets a Best Actress nomination, because she is getting kind of everything. Other than that, we might actually end up with like Jamie Lee Curtis getting a nomination for it, which I didn't realize she was in this. and possibly an Ariana Grande nomination, but sort of weird. Their kind of best picture, as they call it, for outstanding cast in a motion picture, is A Complete Unknown, Honora, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. So we'll see what wins. They do have a stunt category, and it's Deadpool and Wolverine, Dune Part 2, The Fall Guy, Gladiator 2, and Wicked. Okay. All right. But whatever. That was SAG, so we'll see what happens there. And Critics' Choice has been moved back because of the fires. Has been moved to January 26th, was going to be the 12th. And so the Oscar nominations, which were going to be on the, I believe, 17th, have now moved to the 19th, which is a Sunday morning. I was a little surprised by this because that's the day before the inauguration, and I feel like, why not move it to Tuesday? I just think, wouldn't you want to move it away from that, like in the other direction? It just feels like kind of not the greatest idea. Like I said, I don't know if I'll do a special stream for it. It'll just be part of like a show on that week or something. We'll see. But yeah, they moved it because of the fires. The fires there's not as many premieres. A lot of award shows are moving. I did know after this award show, I will talk about the Brad Bird thing. Sorry. Maybe I should have done Brad Bird first. I'm sorry about that. Let's just get through this and then. Yeah, I probably should have structured this better. Oh well. Jean Smart, who is the main actress in Hacks, wrote a thing that they should all the award shows. There shouldn't be award shows during the fire stuff, and that all those award shows and those networks should give their money to the fire stuff, or at least raise money for the fires in LA. And when I read a few articles about that, they're basically like, I don't know what this lady's talking about, because SAG's not until February 23rd, and the Oscars aren't until March, so like, what's her deal? And then like literally on both those sites, I could find an article that was like, Critics' Choice moved, which she is nominated for. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know. I know like there was a thing like the New York Film Critics Circle did their award shows last night, and it seemed like most of the LA people were not thrilled about that, which I agree with. They shouldn't have been doing that night. Every other premiere thing has moved except for that. I do understand that a lot of these awards bodies, that is their main revenue stream of the year, and they need to do those things or they'll pretty much cease to exist and stuff like that, and there's certain financial obligations. However, I think maybe you should figure out a way to move it. So, anyway, I noticed there was kind of a smearing a bit of Jean Smart, but when you consider that she was probably talking about the Critics' Choice Awards and other critic bodies that these actors get pressured to show up to in luncheons and stuff like that, it's pretty clear she was not talking about the two that are over a month away. She's talking about the ones that are happening right now. So if you hear people talking about how she was performative, which I thought too for like a couple, like 10 minutes till I found those other articles, I thought what she said is actually smart, and I feel bad for thinking that. And I don't think it is cool that the major trades fucked around with what she said about I think what she said made sense. So anyway, I know they're cutting down on premieres and big screenings and stuff like that, even in New York, to not draw attention away from the fires, which I think is cool. All right, so I guess you want me to talk about Incredibles 3 and Brad Bird. So I was actually on the World of Real, which is a great, one of the better movie news sites, and I don't check as much as I should, and I checked it today, and I found this. So there was a report on Brad Bird's ray gun and what's going on. He basically said, this writer, Jordan Rumi, talking about how ray gun, which is not about the breakdancer from the Summer Olympics, but is his like long announced sci-fi noir, which was supposed to be hand-drawn, but is now CG for Skydance Animation. It is going to come out on Netflix in 2026. That is not what I'm here to talk about. He wrote an update on Ray Gun, but then wrote an update that said, and this is the quote, it's not a long one, said, I'm told Brad Bird will not be directing The Incredibles 3. He's just producing the Pixar sequel. A simple reason for this, Brad is too busy with Ray Gun. which is interesting. And I was like, but wait, I thought Pete Docter said on stage that Brad Bird was directing Incredibles 3. But then here's the part that adds to this. I watched that video. I went back and I found the video. And here's what Pete Docter said. He said Brad Bird is developing in Incredibles 3. He actually never said that Brad Bird is directing Incredibles 3. I watched a video of it that was in an article that literally says that Pete Docter said that Brad Bird is directing Incredibles 3. He didn't say that. I watched the video. In fact, if you look at if you look at I found a few articles that say he's directing, but if you look at the video, Pete Docter didn't say that. He just said developing. And producers, shock of all shocks, help develop shit, guys. And so it seems like there was never an announcement that he was directing. I think they kind of assumed he was. But anyway, it seems to me that what we're getting at, is that I think Brad Bird, maybe he gets a writing credit, maybe he's just there developing, but it sounds like he's not really that active in it. He's just too busy with Raygun, which is sort of his dream project. I think it's fine for him to move on if he wants to. I'm curious if they can get no, I'm kind of noticing, so I kind of put this in the Gene Smart together, because I'm noticing is like you, the problem I have sometimes with the press is like they'll take something and like jump to a conclusion, but if you really like think about it or read like a second article that's related, you're like, wait a second, these pieces don't work. And you know, he can, I don't doubt that he's helping develop it and he's working on it. I'm glad Raygun is going to happen and we're getting a new Brad Bird animated film. But it's interesting, it doesn't sound like he's coming back for Incredibles 3, as what the World of Real reported. I expect a bigger announcement on who the director is, and people will get upset. So this was sort of a Jim special here, because I'm noticing not a lot of people are talking about it. Maybe I'll tweet or Blue Sky about it tomorrow. I just wanted to talk about it here first, so you guys got, it's not an exclusive, but it's like a thing nobody is talking about, and this was reported on December 30th, and I didn't even see it until today. So it sounds like whatever's, but also I should mention Incredibles 3 doesn't have a release date, so it could be Disney and Pixar like, we'll just wait for you to fucking finish Raygun and then you can have Incredibles 3. Like it doesn't, like, I don't remember a date being announced. So or it might have just been, just say you're attached. Oh, sorry, Carter 3. Well, you can talk too if you want. But anyway, I think the only reason Brad Bird, I don't know his take on the Lasseter thing, but I get the impression Lasseter probably is like, you can do whatever you want, and Brad Bird took it. But I don't know. Yeah, that is a good question. I don't know. But it's interesting that we all thought that, and then you watch the video and he says developing. I don't know. I'm curious when Incredibles 3 happens. If Incredibles 3 happens, who's directing Incredibles 3? Maybe they should just fucking hire Genndy Tartakovsky and make the best Incredibles 3 you possibly could. Why isn't Genndy at Pixar? Why have they never tried to make that deal? I never understood that. If you're Disney and Gendy's right, he's right there. I mean, maybe Genndy doesn't need Pixar because Pixar could never make a Primal or something like that. Anyway, we'll see. But I know I picked Genndy. He's my most people say like Tarantino or something like that. Gendy's my go-to for everything. All right, so Will Smith and The Matrix. We're gonna be done with the thumbnail shit real soon. Where's my water? Will Smith and The Matrix. Oh, hey Carter, right? How's it going? I'm good. How are you? So Will Smith posted a video basically saying this whole thing that like in 1999 or 98 or 97 or something, Will Smith turned down The Matrix and did Wild West and Son, but what if he hadn't turned it down or something? And it says, wake up, Will, is The Matrix or something. So, that's true. about Hotel Transylvania 3, not plausible. But Disney wants Gandhi. Well, hold on, I'm going to read this because I love it. Jared Slav said Disney needs Gendy more than Gendy needs Disney. I agree. Anyway, so if you don't know the deal with Will Smith and The Matrix, he forever brings it up how he was offered The Matrix and he turned it down so he could do Wild Wild West. And obviously that was a huge miscalculation. And he fucked up, and he even made a YouTube video about it, and he's constantly like apologizing for it. But here I'll say this with this. He's like, I don't think Will Smith is good at picking ambitious projects. I think he just picks career safe projects. Sometimes that works out for him. I will mention the year he picked Suicide Squad over Independence Day 2, which I think was a smart move. Let's be real here. Whether you like Suicide Squad 2, whether you like Suicide Squad or not, there is no way it is worse than Independence Day 2. It was a smart move. That movie, Suicide Squad, was a hit. Independence Day 2 was not, and was fucking bad. But we don't actually know what this weird Instagram video meant. Most people think it's a Super Bowl video. I do not want him in a Matrix movie, although Warner Brothers did comment that he is not cast in the new Matrix film. So it seems like the fact that they would immediately go, look, he's not in this, to me, kind of means he's not in this. They would have shut the fuck up if he was even in contention. I don't know what he's doing. To be honest, like, if you ever see Todd in the Shadows video that he made on Will Smith's last album, that's probably illuminating who he is. He's sort of like a bitter dude that, like, I think he's very careerist. He doesn't pick interesting projects. I even have often thought he's not so much an actor as he's a movie star, and he's much more concerned with the movie star part than the actor part. And I think it's sort of, I think he just picks bad shit a lot. Like, he picks like kind of forgettable. Like, it's like his big comeback was Bad Boys 4. Like, it's like okay, like he turned down Django, he turned down The Matrix, he turns down like interesting stuff. Like, he would have been, I think Django would have been great for him actually, and he didn't. Like, you look at his filmography, he's always the first person on the call sheet. He always has to be the big Willie, big guy, and it hasn't. He doesn't have an interesting career, to be honest with you. Like, past the peak period, like, he just like swings around and like picks a bunch of random shit. But like, even that period where he had like a bunch of $100 million number one grossing movies, like, those aren't like premiere cinema or anything, you know. Anyway, I just think I think he could have, I think he can, you know, if he's upset about The Matrix, do an interesting thing. The only thing I will say time he really did those things, not starting out, because that's like different. I never saw Collateral Beauty, but I've heard it's really bad syndrome. The only thing that with Mr. Will Smith is that movie he did with Ang Lee. Like, I actually think he like tried to do something with an auteur and like not be the biggest guy in the call sheet from what I've read. I'm like, I respect that he tried. It didn't work out. I that's the only one I've really heard where he like wanted to try to combine a prestige thing with the movie star thing, and it didn't work. And I always feel, hey, Mandela Butterfly with $1. I love your dollar super chats. Thank you. Makes me feel good that this thing's continued. Cheers to you, man. Oh, thank you. Hi and bye to you as well. Anyway, sorry I went off on Will Smith. We don't know what the Matrix thing is. I'm very curious what's going on there. But you know, cheers to Madonna Butterfly. It's just interesting, like, he will not stop talking about this Matrix thing. It's like, dude, it's also like, I was thinking about this with Keanu. Like, when Keanu did The Matrix, that was considered a comeback. But I think the reason Keanu can keep going back is, like, Keanu can do John Wick. I don't think any of these actors who try to do John Wick could ever have done John Wick. Because they would try to make it, like, he works perfectly in a genre thing, and a lot of these actors think they would, and, like, obviously they didn't. Oh, hey, William Ullman, how's it going? All right, so since we're done with all the thumbnail stuff, And I will talk about DC and the other things. But before we talk about DC, let's talk about The Dark Knight. No, not a movie with stupid Batman. That's not what we're talking about here. Bol has come, is back, bringing Army Hammer back. They're both back, guys. Get ready. I want everybody to freak the fuck out on this one. We have, I'm not even joking, Army Hammer, that is set to play the crime-fighting titular character. Really? Okay. I'm reading for this. In this vigilante thriller, which was scheduled to begin principal photography in Croatia on January 20. I know, Croatia, in January 27th. Okay. In The Dark Knight, which is not, it's not Batman, you guys. It's The Dark Knight, which is not Batman. Or Christopher Nolan's not there either. Anyway, in the movie The Dark Knight, not associated with Batman or Christopher Nolan, is based on an original script by Bol. Hammer plays Sanders, who, by the way, is not Bruce Wayne or Batman, who takes justice into his own hands as he sets out to hunt down criminals, again, not Batman, while his crusade transforms him into a social media sensation, which I don't think that happened to Batman, and a hero in the eyes of the public. The local police chief sees him as a menace to society, different than Gordon, I guess, and aims to take him down. This sounds amazing. I can't wait for the reviews of this. Oh my god, this and the Stuckman movie. I'm excited. When's the Stuckman movie come out? Anyway, Austin says, do you think Army will eat Mr. Bowl like a Chipotle bowl? That was good, Austin. I love it. I like Keanu. Keanu rules, though. See, Keanu's cool enough that Keanu can do a comedy and do a bit in a comedy and be chill about it. Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Yeah, so this is a real thing. Bol's quote is, the story of Batman. Sorry, I said that wrong. That was actually unintentional. The story of The Dark Knight could be more current topic. I'm excited to bring it to life with this excellent cast, said Bull, whose recent films include the crime drama First Shift and the forthcoming migrant crisis thriller Run. Sounds like I should run away from that movie. Sid Rem's quote in the article. That would be crazy if you were, though. Oh, wait, hold on. Before I get to this. Well, this is in the Variety article. Well, the new film's familiar title might conjure images of a certain Cape Crusader. Executive producer Michael Royce pointed out that our movie is very different from Christopher Nolan's movie, so there is no danger of confusion. They're not literally called the same thing. So, this is why is what? It's like, why would you think of Christopher Nolan's film? We're literally called the same thing. Why do people keep confusing with my film Tenet? Oh my god. Sidro says, I hope WB sues them to retitle it Army Hammer's The Dark Knight, like with the Butler. Oh my god, you're right. I forgot about it. That's why the Butler had that weird title. Oh my god. I hope they do. It's giving Mockbuster, but it comes out stupid. They thought so hard it came out stupid, I guess. Anyway, cheers to you. I'm just sorry. This is like really funny. The Army Hammer of it all. And he's also said he's getting so many roles now. He has to turn down stuff, which is okay. Sure, bro. All right. This is clearly Ball's job. This is a weird move from Jim. Cornbread, you're funny. All right. So sorry. I have to be serious about this thing that's kind of dumb. So there's a Batman silhouette in the recent creature comforts. Sorry. So many people are saying that's casting of Batman, although James Gunn, who needs to tweet all the time, like he runs a YouTube channel like me, um, uh, said that they have not really come up with who should be Batman, although many people think it's Alan Richardson based on this silhouette. And he has said that he isn't sure. There's all sorts of reports. Andy Muschietti is saying it'll be a different Batman. Matt Reeves and them are saying, well, they'd have to work it out and all this stuff. No one's really sure. All this stuff. It's basically like this back and forth thing, but there's basically like, and I'm not joking about this. I know I just laughed about a previous Batman thing. There's all this debate because they showed a silhouette of Batman in a cartoon. Thing is, like, I grew up with old William Allen. I'll get to you in a second. Sorry. I grew up in the pre-comic book movie things. And if you watch the X-Men, I mean he's like barely in it supposedly. I stopped watching Creature Comforts, but a Creature Commandos, Creature Comforts. I should have spaced these out. And anyway, let's do William Melvin. Do you think Stuckman's film will be a bigger piece of crap than The Critical Drinkers, or will it be better? I don't actually know. The Critical Drinker had a movie. Here's my thing with Stuckman is like he does all these positive reviews, and it's like I just think it's like he has set himself up to get dunked on so hard. I don't understand what he thinks he's doing. Like, he obviously needs the money. He has kids. I get that. But he's like, dude, like, just like, you shouldn't have done the positive thing before you put out a movie. Like, you either should have shut the fuck up or just said, I'm not going to do the current thing, and just done movies people get, excited about. But, like, oh my God. Dude, I from a PR perspective, does he have a publicist? Because if he did, they would quit, because he just like critically, I'm just like, this is not gonna. No, look, Stuckman is better than the Critical Drinkers, but is more likable than the Critical Drinker. But I took a shit earlier, and that was better than the Critical Drinker too. So I don't know if that really counts. But anyway, sorry, that was whatever. Cheers to William. I don't know. I am curious about the Stuckman thing. Anyway, we don't know what's going on with the DCU Batman thing that seems to come up. I think probably because if you talk about it, people will get I actually wrote Creature Comforts. Why did I write Creature Comforts in my notes? But if you talk about it, it'll get clicks and stuff. So I think it's more just like they're just like any straw they can grasp at, they will. I think also James Gunn should shut the fuck up, and all those things. But you think it's I don't if it's good, I'll review it as good. But I will review it. I think I'm curious about it. Anyway, it's just because it clicks. The other thing, I talked about the Lobo thing before, how Jason Momoa is Lobo. He's going to be a Supergirl movie. Many people have suggested and theorized that they're not just having Momoa do one role in Supergirl, that there have been developments on a Lobo movie. No one's sure who's directing and everything like that. There's talk of like they want to figure out how it goes over when it premieres and stuff like that. But there is actually some for real talk of Lobo spin-off movie. But it seems like he's definitely for real being developed, and they're using Supergirl to introduce him, and then he'll have a movie later and stuff like that. But there hasn't been any real announcements of that, but it's mainly theorized and rumored and stuff like that. But that's all I have to say about that. And before I get into these two other things, apparently there are many rumors about a sequel to Air Force One. What this will be, I don't know. I know a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for Air Force One. I watched it with my wife like a couple of years ago. That movie is insanely patriotic, which is shocking since it's a movie about the president with a terrorist on Air Force One, that would be patriotic and stuff. But like to a point where I was like, is this a movie from the fucking 50s? No, I know they're considering putting Robert Pattinson in the DCU, but I don't know. Well, who knows at this point? I feel like we don't need to, whatever. But yeah, it's just super patriotic. It's like it feels like a movie from classic Hollywood, and Glenn Close is the vice president. It was just it's sort of fun, but like a lot of the CGI doesn't age well and all that stuff. Supposedly, since Harrison Ford is back again, and all this stuff, with shrinking and stuff, and people are saying he's much more visible since Indiana Jones and all this stuff. It makes sense to like look at any franchise they can reboot. I don't know if it like during the Trump era, a cool movie about the president is like a thing everyone would be super into right now. I also don't think I don't know. I think he's better at Jack Ryan because I probably said this before in other things. I think what Harrison Ford understood about Jack Ryan is Tom Clancy's a fucking dork, and he plays he played. Oh, cool! You met James. Oh, that's cool. It's only a moment. And he played Jack Ryan as like a dork, like he's like a dorky dad and stuff, and everyone else plays him as an action hero. I wouldn't mind him doing Jack Ryan again because he's like, I don't love those movies, but like he's legitimately like got that Tom Clancy sucks, and that's like my favorite thing. Like I was like, wow, Harrison Ford is like smart because everyone else is like, this is my time, and he's like, I'm already Han Solo and Indiana Jones. I'm already Han Solo and Indiana Jones, so like, this guy's a dork because this writer's a dork, and it's clearly like he acts like he knows a lot of stuff, and like it's pretty debatable if he does, and he doesn't. Anyway, I noticed when I rewatched Patriot Games, like, man, Harrison Ford like gets it. Everyone else like really sucks at this role, but like Harrison Ford, it's like interesting. I mean, that's what I would do. Air Force One, everyone's saying like maybe he came back for a second term, which is Trump. It's just like I don't want to hear Trumpian stuff. Like I don't want that. But we'll see. So this was another one that I thought would get more coverage, but was gender swapped holes. Apparently, there's Drew Goddard, which makes me think this will really happen. Who Cabin in the Woods, and is he doing The Matrix? I think. He has a deal with Disney, and he's working on a gender-swapped pilot, not movie, for Disney Plus is in the works. I don't really... Okay, so, like, I'm not against the gender swap thing if you have an actual perspective and stuff, but as someone, I think, pointed out on one of the things, that Stanley's name being the same backwards, like, how could you do that? Like, you'd have to refigure out a bunch of stuff. But also, like... I don't think they tried it with Doogie Howser and that didn't work, but I think it sort of doesn't work out for them because if you're a fan of Holes, you're probably not going to watch a gender swap one because you're like, oh, that's not really my thing. And I don't think it works like getting the new fans on. So then you're like, well, what's the point of using the IP? Is it still like really popular right now? But then if you're a big fan of the book, and you're just like, oh, there's a bunch of girls and stuff, why wouldn't you, make a different thing with the same plot and not call it Holes? I sort of think that would do better, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not against it, but, like, I just don't, I don't know, or, like, have it be, like, the same camp in post Holes, and they made it into a girls' camp, and, like, name it something else and be like From the World of Holes and like have it be a sequel, but like a reboot, a different version, I don't really understand. Like I would have to know more about it, but I just don't think like my brother and his friends who were like really into that book, I think there's a new version of Holes, they'd be into it, and like Shia LaBeouf could be the John Voight part, and like you could bring back people and stuff like that, but like I'm just a little confused how this will work entirely. And I don't think it's like something that has any of those really succeeded that much. Like that's the part I'm confused about. Like what is the ultimate goal here marketing wise and stuff like that, because creatively I don't really understand either. So anyway, Holes is a cool movie. If they're gonna do it, I hope we find out more, but that's supposedly what's going on. Where are we on this? Oh, we're like, okay. Maybe the next. We have some stuff and then we'll take a break. I never read the book, but I saw the movie with my brother at Regal Union Square when he came out for New York, and it was fun. and I like that movie. I think I talked about it. I did a review. If you like it, then you should watch that review, I guess. Anyway, sorry. So apparently, Zane Powers, are you comparing Holes fans to Ghostbusters fans? Not really in the same way. What I mean by that is, I don't think they're gonna make that fucking video he made and stuff. James Rolfe. I don't think they're gonna do that. But I think if like they're turning on and they're like, "What's this?" and stuff, it's like I don't actually think it gets it's like it's always a weird thing, and no one like I think you could do it in an interesting way, but I don't think anyone successfully it yeah, it's like who is gonna look at that and go, oh cool, it's like I think the only time it worked is Oceans, what, the one where they changed the Oceans movie, they're all women, but it's like a separate team. I think that works better, where it's like a team of women in the same universe, and like Sandra Bullock's like George Clooney's sister or something, and they're doing heists. Like I thought that worked better because you're not thinking like, oh, they Kate Blanchett's Brad Pitt or something. Like Kate Blanchett's Kate Blanchett, but also the Ocean's crew is somewhere else and they're a separate. I think that works better, to be honest. I just think it's like when people see it, they're like, oh, that's not my thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's I don't think it really works. Ocean's 8 wasn't great. I'm just saying it worked better. Anyway, cheers to you, Zane Powers. Cheers to you. Wasn't Rihanna in that? Rihanna, I miss Rihanna. All right. I'm not against it or anything. I just don't think I've not seen it successfully really work as other than that one, and that one wasn't amazing. So apparently Dune, the franchise, Warner Brothers is literally very much considering moving on without Denis Villeneuve after Dune Messiah. And no one's sure what the plan is, but supposedly Warner Brothers has become more bullish about figuring out the Dune franchise because they actually have success with the TV show, and Dune Part 2 did really well, and they're sort of looking at what they want to expand it more on. Supposedly, there's been talk of like Denis Villeneuve being an executive producer on a lot of this stuff, or him picking the director for the next one after he leaves the franchise. But it sounds like we're going to get more Dune movies after Denis Villeneuve leaves, or at least that's the plan right now, even though he hasn't really started shooting Dune Messiah yet. But I don't think we've seen the last of Dune. It sounds like Warner Brothers is looking at a future post Denis Villeneuve, who basically said he wants to just do Dune Messiah and bounce. Anyway, like that's not new. But it sounds like he might have a role creatively in that, or at least financially get, a little bit of a bag from it. But we'll see. But it sounds like Warner Brothers is considering that, as well as Warner Brothers had a big executive shakeup, some big people, including the executive who was in charge of the marketing that launched Barbie and several things. Supposedly, these executives were fired because of Furiosa and Joker 2, despite the fact that these executives did not greenlight those movies and did not have the power to do so. But David Zaslav fired them, including the person who did the ads for Barbie, which sounds like one of the dumbest moves I could have. Like, any studio is going to snap them up real quick, so I don't know what they're thinking. Before the obits, which I'll talk about later, thank you for being here, Carter Wright. Britt Alcroft, who was the creator, or at least so Thomas and Friends. She didn't come up. Thomas and Friends was like a radio thing in England, first, created by this Reverend guy. But she kind of helped develop. So basically what it is Alcroft produced several shows for British television during the 70s, but then she secured the rights to Reverend W. Arty's Railway series books featuring Thomas the Tank Engine, and she transformed it into Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends in 1984, which was a huge hit. My son loves Thomas and Gordon and Percy and all this. Like, he has all the trains, he has all the tracks. They're like literally over there. It is I've seen a lot of that show. I wasn't really a train kid growing up. I was like an action figure kid. and comic books and all that stuff. So I didn't. Ryan suggested I review something from her. I don't really have. I just didn't feel like it would come from the place that. I don't know. I like the show. There's certain things I like about it. Maybe I could have thought more about it, but I think her contribution to society is pretty insane. Considering like the show's still going, they rebooted it recently in a more cartoony version. My son's still obsessed with it. He still plays with his trains, and I still have to hear about Gordon and all the, particularly Thomas, and he needs his Thomas toy, and he has like so many things. So I've lived in that world a long time. I think it's very well established. It's a very nice little franchise, very homey and stuff like that, and very calming. And it's fun for a lot of kids. And if you do need Thomas Tank Engine toys, by the way, Barnes & Noble sells them. So if you're ever like, where do I find those things? Barnes & Noble has the classic kind of trains with the tracks and stuff like that. But I enjoy watching it with my son. He really loves it. I think it's a huge franchise. It's much bigger in England. She doesn't actually get called out as much because of the original creator, but I do think she deserves to be brought up like she has been when she died, because she is the reason that it became a show, and she deserves that respect. But I don't know. It's not that I try to review segments, everything I like on here or something. I think that would be not good. I probably should do things I really hate at some point, but I just didn't think it would like. You didn't want to hear me do a Thomas review that wasn't in it. Yeah, that's kind of how I watch William Allen. That's how I watch Thomas too. The only other thing before we talk about box office is that David Fincher released a version of Seven with AI. He used AI to like clean it up, basically. I'm like kind of sick of. I don't know. I think he was like, "Oh no, it's like a really good idea, and I can do all this stuff." I just don't really. I really wish he hadn't done that. But anyway, all right. So before box office, what's been going on with box office basically is that last weekend Mufasa finally beat Sonic, although Sonic has still outgrossed it at 187 million. Mufasa's at 168 million. Mufasa internationally has made 482. Sonic, which is not opening in China, is like 341. I think the big difference is Sonic costs about 120. Mufasa costs a lot more than that. So based on that, Sonic is far more of a success. But we are seeing a lot of more successful things. And the thing with the box office in the winter around this time period is films can really leg out. And we're seeing that with Mufasa. We're even seeing it with Sonic. I mean, as much as like we talked about Mufasa 1, it won by $2 million. Sonic 3 was at 21. Mufasa was at 23. We're probably going to keep seeing those two be 1 and 2 for a little bit. Nosferatu is holding really strong. It's at 69 million. Made 13. It's only going down 39%, which is crazy for a horror movie. It's made about 104 million worldwide. I've heard a lot of talk about his previous movie, Robert Eggers' Northman bombing. To my understanding, it did incredibly well in VOD, which is why he got Nosferatu. I don't know why people are leaving that out, but whatever, that's on them. Moana 2, which has cost across 425 million and is at 963 million worldwide. I wouldn't be surprised if it made more. Complete unknown. Like, nothing really fell too hard except for Wicked sorta did at 49.5, but that also went to rental, like on demand and stuff. So I think that would make sense, although it made like some insane amount of money on the first couple days. But also the studios make 80% of the take of that, whereas in theaters they make 50%. So Universal did very well. The only film that didn't really change was Baby Girl. Actually added theaters, and on Box Office Mojo, I think it just says like 0.1%. Like it basically didn't change. Holding very strong on word of mouth, as well as people are saying the same about Nosferatu. The only film that I'm finding interesting, I've seen a lot of ads around the city for The Fire Inside. I heard nothing about that fucking movie. And the 7 re-release did come out, and it did okay. It's interesting, the winter box office, the Christmas box office, because you can really have a film overperform just because it's there. I think the 2 times you can do that is end of July going into all the way to September, which is how Spider-Man Homecoming did as well as it did. And this time period, which is also how the Avatars and Titanic, bring it back to the opening, did as well as it did. I don't see anything else. Better Man's doing okay. Soundtrack to Coop are doing well. Yeah, nothing else really. Killer Raccoons, A Dark Christmas in the Dark. What is this? This is a 51. What is this? A parody of Dark Siege and Speed 2 that will leave you with your jaw on the floor? I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds pretty cool. Killer Raccoons 2, Dark Christmas in the Dark. I gotta see. I don't know what that is, but I want to see it. All right, that, you know what? Finally, going to the bottom of the box office has proven something. This is a real movie. I want to preface. There's a real movie called Killer Raccoons 2 Dark Christmas. This sounds amazing. I'm excited. I can't, Anyway. So apparently, Jordan Slava brings up, I kind of want to watch that so Nicole Kidman can introduce the Nicole movie at AMC. Supposedly, they haven't been playing the Nicole Kidman intro. I keep reading that they don't play the Nicole Kidman intro. That sucks. Anyway. All right, so 2 obituaries. We learned that Jeff Benina, who's a writer-director who directed cool. The website I went to covered the list for an ad. Life After Beth and Spin Me Round died this past week. His body was discovered by his assistant in his LA home on Friday, January 3rd. It sounds like he did. I didn't realize that. Apparently it was okay. Apparently he did commit suicide. I didn't realize that. That's unfortunate. He was married to Audrey Plaza, who I believe is released statement. I didn't actually know she was married, to be totally honest with you. Anyway, that's sad. Sorry, I didn't actually know. I knew he died. I feel bad that. Anyway, he sounds like an interesting writer-director. It sounds like he also had his own issues and stuff like that. I'm sorry for his family. Sorry, that just hit me because I didn't know that. I'm sorry. As well, man, I shouldn't have done that first. I just knew he died. That sucks, man. When you have a lot going on and you should really organize things better. I'm having that issue right now. So the model for Donkey in Shrek died this week. He died. The model for Donkey. He was getting old, so. You don't know Donkey about Shrek. Anyway, that should have really. Oh my god. He was declining health. But yeah, he was the model for Donkey and Shrek. All right. Yeah. Oh, his last one was Unfairly Bad. That sucks, man. People are like kind of. I didn't see it. I actually did not heard of that stuff, so I don't really know. But anyway, all right. Let's. I'm. All right. So I didn't get to see that came out today. I actually didn't get to. Oh my god! Wait, no, I have a trailer segment, but it's not the companion trailer. I mean, I saw the previous one. I really want to see it. Okay, hold on. I have 3 trailers. 1, Hard Eyes. Amazing. A killer just goes after couples on Valentine's Day. Awesome. I'm excited. I can't wait to see. My wife doesn't like horror movies, but I can't wait to watch this movie alone in the theater and see couples get stabby stabbed. Awesome, amazing. I love the hard eyes mask. We're doing great. It looks just like the Violent Nature costume, but whatever his eyes. In The Lost Lands, which is from George R. R. Martin and Paul W. S. Anderson, looks like a mess of what those two creative people would be with Dave Bautista and Mila Jovovich, of course. But here's the thing. I saw the trailer for The Wrong Man. And oh my God, Jason Statham. I love this new era of Jason Statham, I gotta say. He, here's what Jason Statham, this could pretty much be called The Beekeeper 2. But it's not. He's a working man on a construction site. This girl goes disappeared, and he decides he's gonna punchy punch and shooty shoot people until he can get her back. He's gonna go through all go through all the class system to get this girl. It's written by Stallone. I think I meant Working Man. It's Working Man, yeah. It's written by Stallone. It's directed by David Ayer again. Why is this not The Beekeeper 2? I have no clue. But I love this whole new thing that David Ayer and Jason Statham are doing where Jason Statham will break through all class barriers and fuck everything up with just how awesome and good he is at punching and shooting stuff. Oh, and David Harbour plays a blind guy who gives him guns. Excellent. Excellent. I just love that this is Statham thing. Like all the civil unrest we have in this world, no one can agree on anything, but everyone can agree on Jason Statham will destroy literally it doesn't matter how rich you are, Jason Statham will destroy you if you fuck with some lady. I love it. Oh man. It's yeah, the Working Man trailer, I'm down. I'm down. Just keep making these. You know, I think I would prefer a Beekeeper movie. It's also goes back to the movie I like to bring up far too much, Homefront, starring Jason Statham, also written by Stallone, not starring him. Wonderful, amazing. Let's keep doing it. All right, now that I've ended on a much better note than the weirdness of that obits, I'm going to take a break and use the bathroom. When we get back, I will be talking about El Terrible Troubadour, the second Silly Symphonies, and Mickey Mouse, the Opry House. And then we'll do questions. And, yeah. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, Suicide Squad. Who cares? Might as well do Jason Statham action stuff. Let me put up the... There we go. The we'll be right back thing. I'll be right back. And I'll see you in a minute after you use the bathroom. And then we'll review these two very old, now in public domain cartoons. Okay. Welcome back. So now, wait, where? Hold on. Okay, should probably do the segment soon. Guess we have 25 minutes, but I think this will probably end at 12:50, but we'll see. No, that's a good Train Records. I like that Train Records. It's a good one because it kind of goes into him as a person. So I don't know. I just think it's like it's what he says about his rap career is accurate. Although "Summertime" is his only. I think it's the only great Will Smith song. "Summertime," I think that is. Yeah, I would say that. Anyway, all right. So, I will say one thing. I don't know when these will be separate videos because the Silly Symphony. I just wanted to announce this before, so you're not like, what happened to this? The Silly Symphonies. There's only 4 that I have, including this one, and they're all sort of time specific. One's a springtime one, one's a Halloween one, and one's sort of a Christmas one. So you might forget I'm reviewing those this year because there'll be like long stretches between them. And Mickey Mouse, I just want to get one more of them done. So that's kind of why I almost did Robbie Williams Rock DJ, but I kind of want to see what happens when I do the review. So, wait, what? Is that true? Hold on. "Summertime" is written by Nas. Hold on. I gotta look this up right now. I'm sorry. Is that true? Like a ghostwritten thing? I don't see him on here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see Nazir. Though it does have, to be totally honest with you, it has a little too many songwriters on here. Like ghostwritten? I'm curious about this. Anyway, sorry. Oh, the Justin Timberlake. This is a great stream. Why? Because I'm looking up. I've not heard this Nas thing. That's interesting. I never heard that before, Holy Moment. I can't, well, I just did a quick search, so I'm not going to act like I did a ton of research on here, but I feel like that was before Nas, because 91, was really doing that, but I could be wrong. I probably am. Anyway, that's interesting, if it's true. I didn't know that. Anyway, I'm going to look in. Oh, it was a myth. No, it's okay, man. Sorry. You got me, because I was like, maybe he's right. Could Nas have written "Summertime"? Yes. Could Will Smith done literally anything Nas did? No. I was gonna say even the worst. I was like, I don't think he could have even done that Kanye album that was bad. I don't think Will Smith could have done that. All right. Anyway, yes. So you might not see the Mickey Mouse one. You might see. I think I'm going to be less loose with the other. I actually want to get the Chili Willy one out because me and the kids really like Chili Willy, and I've noticed even the '90s Chili Willy is Chili Willy. Very hard to fuck up Chili Willy. I will say, unless he talks. If he talks, no. But if Chili Willy's doing the Chili Willy thing, very easy cartoon to nail. Because almost even in the Flash version in the 2010s, he's still good. To be honest, as my kid watches any compilation of Woody Woodpecker there ever is. I see so much Woody Woodpecker, you have no idea. Let's see. Oh, and before we talk about both these shorts, have the song Yankee Doodle Dandy in them, which I think was a much bigger thing in 1929. So I'm going to talk about El Terrible Toreador. Toreador is basically a matador. Because when I looked it up, it said or matador. So that's basically what that is. This is the second Silly Symphony after Skeleton Dance. This is the second one, which also went in the public domain this year, which is thus why I'm reviewing it. Hold on. I wanted to have something up, and now I'm gonna look up that killer raccoon thing. I'm not like really joking about that. I'm super into that idea. Anyway, this one, which came out on September 26, 1929, is an interesting one. I don't think it is as well remembered, nor should it be, as Skeleton Dance, which was a really interesting, really great cartoon. This one is stranger and weirder, and I don't fully understand what they're doing here. It opens it's in Spain somewhere, and there's this lady, and she's walking around. She gets an amazing tip from this guy in like a white suit and stuff. He gives her a coin. Yeah, I hear Buster's being Buster. He hits on her and all this stuff, but then the Toreador comes in, and basically the lady's more into him, and the other guy who looks like a cop basically gets all upset and stuff. And then the short goes into the whole Matador thing, and it's almost like you could like not have this opening. Like, you really just don't need it. I don't understand why you would want to do that. It doesn't really. I don't I don't get it. So anyway, this whole intro is just silly nonsense, and this guy like gets all mad at him, and then like his clothes come off, and he's wearing long underwear, which I appreciate the long underwear joke from 1929. But then the Toreador, I think, or Matador really, goes into the ring. You see the nice lady from the restaurant, and the guy again, for some reason. He really doesn't need to be there, but this is silly, so we'll just ignore that. And then they are there, and you see the Toreador and the bull basically fight each other. And it's actually it's like really silly. At first they're like punching each other and stuff like that. And they're like, like at one point they do patty cake. They're doing this and that, and they're just sort of being silly. And then the jerk from the beginning decides to put pepper in the flowers. And then the girl gives them the flowers, and the bull gets mad. He has a really cool walk cycle kind of thing. And then he's coming at the bullfighter, the Matador, and then the Matador literally rips him from inside out and wins the bullfight, which is, it's pretty horrific. Anyway, that's this thing. This was animated by far more people than just Ub Iwerks, although it seems like he was sort of the head person, as it says directed by Ub Iwerks at the beginning of it. You had Les Clark from before, as well as Bert Gillett, Wilfred Jackson, Jack King, and Ben Sharperstein. I think the only Nine Old Men guy was Les Clark, but I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, layouts and backgrounds were Ub Iwerks. It sounds like it was mainly thing. Walt Disney was there, I guess. I don't know what he did. But I like this short. It is fun. But I think Skeleton Dance is so iconic. Like, I don't think this is a great follow-up or anything. I think they're just like kind of fucking around basically with this. I think they're kind of just like messing around with this one. And you can kind of feel, it feels sort of like jam drawing-y, as often these shorts were. But El Toreador, Terrible Toreador. I don't think he is terrible. Even the title doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. But it's just sort of like this. But, skeletons dancing in a graveyard doesn't make sense. But it works, so why not? That's kind of the vibe of these first two Silly Symphonies. I actually sort of like that about them. I think that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, this is a strange cartoon. It's like just like watching a really weird old cartoon. And you're like, what even was that? And then I watched him rip a bull from inside out. And then they're like, cartoon's over, yay! And you're like, what the fuck? It's It's interesting. I enjoyed it. It is not Skeleton Dance. It is not one of the great ones of this period necessarily, but it is a fun like jam thing that Iwerks did a good job on with a great team of animators and made a fun little strange short. It does even feel like when the bullfighting thing is like maybe they should do patty cake. I think he hits him in the bull's butt at one point. It's just such a strange ass little cartoon. But I'm curious to go through more of these silly symphonies because this feels like more in the animation stream messing around than anything. And I actually think that's kind of cool. Like watching these animators mess around and stuff. I mean, it's kind of cool to think about it. It's not cool to watch necessarily, but you know, I don't know if I'd recommend it unless you're going through these as much as Skeleton Dance, but it is kind of fun to watch them kind of, you know, have fun and figure out how to have, you know, a matador and a bull have fun together and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a fun follow-up. It's interesting to see what they chose to do after Skeleton Dance. But unfortunately, this isn't really as iconic, and you can kind of sort of see why. All right, so I hope you guys are liking these things. I don't know. I'm having fun doing them. But you won't see a silly symphony thing for a while. So, all right, so we're going to talk about the fifth. Yes. Now I'm going to talk about the fifth Mickey Mouse short. The second, released in 1929, supposedly, whatever. The Opry House. Now, this is interesting because Minnie isn't in it, actually. It's just Mickey. In fact, Mickey is in this a lot. It's mainly Mickey. Now, this was sort of a different thing from particularly the Barn Dance, and especially I think from many of the cartoons of the early Mickey Mouse thing, is they really were trying to do more with the animation. They're trying to show off more. They're trying to do more with the characters. In fact, Walt Disney has a quote which says, our characters beginning to act and behave like real persons. Because of this, we could begin to pull a real feeling and charm into our characterization. After all, you can't expect charm from animation sticks, and this is what Mickey Mouse was in his first pictures. I guess it's sort of it's a weird one because Mickey Mouse is sort of outside of a theater. He's sweeping up and all this stuff and just messing around. You're not really sure. I guess he works there at first. And then he sees a very large theater goer come in, and he has trouble getting him in. And then the show starts. You have this very busted orchestra there, and like one person has a xylophone with pulling cat's tails. The other person takes out their dentures and messes around with them, which my kids thought was very weird. But then Mickey Mouse it's like a very bootleg man, basically. And then Mickey Mouse decides to do a performance, like he does the entire performance at the Opry House. But what I like about it, actually, is the curtain says asbestos on it, which was not, I don't know if people realized how dangerous asbestos was. Oh, whoa, William Ellman. Hold on, I'll get to you in a second. I don't know if people realized how dangerous asbestos was in 1929, but I love that joke aged like that. That's a meaner joke now than it was then. I actually appreciate that. I thought that was actually funny. I know that's like not what they intended, but it's funny that like this whole theater and Mickey Mouse is doing this whole performance with like getting asbestos exposure is like actually kind of funny. It's like makes it a little funnier. I know that's not what they intended to do at the time, but it's definitely how that comes off. William Owen says the song "I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy" is from the 1904 musical Yankee Doodle Boy, written by George M. Cohan, aka the man who owned Broadway, who defined pre-World War I musicals. Oh, interesting. I've actually seen the James Cagney film Yankee Doodle Dandy, which I never liked as much, but back in the day, people would always say that was Cagney's best performance, but I still think it's Public Enemy. But thank you for that. That is interesting. I guess it was a much bigger deal in 1929 than it is now. Cheers to you, William Ellman. And also your generosity. Thank you. Oh, not plausible saying stage curtains used to be made of asbestos so the stage lights wouldn't catch the drapes on fire. Interesting. I didn't know that. Thank you for that, man. So when anyway, I just think the asbestos thing is kind of funny, but that's I anyway. So after he does that, after the thing, Mickey does a snake charming bit, and you see him do the snake, but it's not actually a snake; it's a cat's tail, because the thing falls over. And then Mickey does a belly dance, which is odd. It's just Mickey does everything. Mickey does everything on stage, and then he comes back, plays the piano. The piano actually rejects Mickey. They go back and forth, and then the piano and Mickey take a bow. This one, I notice. I do hear about, like, this one seems to be brought up more because, one, it was the first Mickey short where he wore gloves on. The gloves are only on in the title cards and in posters and stuff. This is the first short where Mickey wore gloves. So that's kind of a big deal. And it was actually the most expensive Mickey short at the time, costing $2,500. And they wanted to do more. And I think they did more with the sets. Like when you see the audience, like you can tell the theater's more creaky. You can get more out of the location. You get more out of the other characters. You get more in there. So I'm not saying what that Disney quote is incorrect. I actually think it is very correct. It is far more advanced in a lot of ways. Maybe not entirely noticeable. The only animator I see credited is Iwerks, actually, which, it's also interesting. It says a Walt Disney comic by Iwerks. So that's, I don't know. I notice I don't ever mention that. I like this short. I like it more than the barn dance. I've yet to see of these ones post the big three, those being, Steamboat Willie, Praying Crazy, and Galloping Gaucho, I think are pretty, those are pretty great. Barn Dance wasn't as good. I think this is better than Barn Dance in a lot of ways, but I don't, and I think it's more like interesting. It sort of combines the fun that you'd see from Ub and those guys in the Silly Symphonies with Mickey Mouse, and it kind of shows you Mickey Mouse is far more adaptable, which is also something I've always liked about these shorts and even the newer Mickey Mouse shorts, because Mickey Mouse is a very adaptable character, and you can have fun with him and do all sorts of weird stuff with him if you want. And I think one of the reasons people like Iwerks and what he did this early years is he very much was open to experimentation and messing around and doing different stuff. And I think this showcases him more as an animator. I just don't fall in love with this more. It was the first time I've seen this one. The other three I'd seen many, many times. And the barn dance in this I've seen. This is the first time. But the first time I saw those, I really liked them. And these, I'm like, it's a fun installment, and I like the animation a lot, and I liked watching it. But it wasn't as, I don't know. There's more to look at. There's more to think about. And I think the barn dance played a little more typically and simply, and this is a little more complex and is sort of interesting. This came out on March 20th, 1929. I think if you are enjoying the Mickey Mouse shorts and you like the first three and you want to continue, this is probably a better short to watch next to those than the barn dance. There's a lot more to watch. There's a lot more funny things. Mickey does a lot of crazy stuff in it, and it's fun watching animators have fun, and Iwerks is one of the world-class animators of this era, and seeing him have fun with sort of his greatest creation is fun to watch. Is it as much fun as the other ones? Not necessarily. I would have liked to see him, parodying another movie or be on a steamboat or something. But this was a nice little cartoon here, and I had fun with it. It was a nice watch, and I think it is a nice little another nice little installment in the Mickey Mouse Shorts film series. All right. I like, how many Mickey, I don't know. I know it ends. I don't know if I'll just keep doing Mickey Mouse shorts. I haven't really decided. They stop in 1953, and there's 126 in my mind. I know they came back with them for The Prince and the Pauper and Runaway Brain, which I've already reviewed, and Get a Horse, but in my mind, after you get past 1953, it's sort of it was kind of over. I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much I I mean, for a long time they made a lot of them. And then they made less of them. And anyway. All right, let's get to the questions. Let's all get out of here. It's late. It's been a crazy day, as it always is. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Maybe I should have done Rock DJ. How about this? Is anyone in the chat? If you wanted me to do Rock DJ, let me know. But anyway, I'm going to write questions below. And if anyone wants to do a last super chat before we go out, now is the time. Do you have an opinion on 1947 Chaplin dark comedy Monsieur Verdox? I saw that when I was a little kid, and I don't remember it. That's one of the one that's like post The Exile. I never really liked those as much, but I haven't seen all of them, and it's sort of like the Keaton talkies, where I'm like, they have their moments, but like, it's been a long time. I don't remember that super well, but even like the one he did with Keaton, Buster Keaton, right before he got exiled, it was at Limelight. Like, that's good, but it's like you can tell he's like not on his game as much. So, yeah, I would say that, I guess. Sorry. All right. Cheers to William Elman. Thank you very much, man. It's been a little bit. I haven't watched the Chaplin thing in a little bit, too. All right, hold on. I have some Patreon questions, don't I? Sinram says, aside from The Social Network, what's your favorite film from a Aaron Sorkin screenplay? I did like his Steve Jobs thing, actually. I thought that worked well. I almost want to look it up because I feel like he has written a fair amount of screenplays, but I like it when he doesn't direct himself. I think that's better for him to be 100% Aaron in movies. See Molly's Game. He did stuff on Money's Ball. Oh, did he write Charlie Wilson's War? I might say Charlie Wilson's War. A Few Good Men. I'm gonna go A Few Good Men. Did he write? He's credit on that? Right? I think if it's A Few Good Men, I'm gonna go A Few Good Men. Yeah, he did. Yeah, you gotta go A Few Good Men, I think. Nathaniel Fogel, what's a favorite film of yours that you wish was eligible for the Oscars? Akira. I think that's like one of their biggest omissions. Whether they admit it or not, I think Akira was like, they fucked up. Like, you can't get beyond that. Dumoulin or William Elman says, who's the better surrealist director, Louis Buñuel or David Lynch? I actually think it's Buñuel, both because I grew up watching Discreet Charm and Bourgeoisie a lot. I've seen a lot of his stuff. But I gotta say, like, the film with the eye cutting, that is a big one. He has so many major surrealist films. I also think the thing with Buñuel is there's films to discover, and I feel like with Lynch, you can't discover anything with Lynch because every Lynch film is brought up all the fucking time. I actually think one of the things that hurts Lynch more than anything is the cult of Lynch, because like you never get a break from him. Like, I feel like I do watch way too many of those Letterboxd like top 4 film things, and so many people just bring up like a random ass Lynch, and it's like there's not even it's like people just like all of it, and it's like, that's cool, I like the David Lynch stuff, but I do feel like that sort of killed it. Like, I was so into him in high school and college and stuff, but it's like I kind of wish I could get a break from him for a few years sometimes. And I always get that with Buñuel. I feel like Buñuel will do a thing that like you don't expect, and Lynch, like, I sort of know how he moves, so I feel like his surrealism, and there's also more, I think, surrealism from Buñuel, so I'm going to go with Buñuel. Austin, the last Patreon question says, hey Jim, what a great show. I hope you're doing well and having a great 2025 so far. My question for you, my question for you, which is last, but likely next up will be a good cornbread question. My question is, after the new Wallace and Gromit film, what would you like to see from Aardman Studios? Actually, for real, I know I brought up Chili Willy. I would like them to do Chili Willy. I'm not even joking. Like, I think they could kill it with a Chili Willy cartoon. I think I would legitimately like that or something. I want more silent film from that, and maybe more Shaun the Sheep. But I think give Walter Land like Universal. Like I know he's a Woody Woodpecker character, but let someone else have Chili Willy. And I think sorry, I'm so pro Chili Willy. I think they should do that. Cornbread asks, question with the last stream of Skeleton Crew, the last episode of Skeleton Crew airing between streams, so ends the Wolfman questions. To end, if you could add any cheap Halloween mask to join Katana Wolfman, who would you pick? The Scream guy or Frankenstein mask? Yes. Zane Powers, if Francis Ford Coppola is a bad example of rich out of touch guys to talk about society and the struggle of masses, who is a rich out of touch guy who did it well? I actually think Scorsese is good at Killers of the Flower Moon, or I do feel like he's much better at it, but I think he understands the current film climate, and I think he's a great director as well. So I think Scorsese, who, but in all honesty, like supposedly just hangs out at his house all the time, sounds like he understands the world, or at least what's going on, a little better. Cornbread, but I also, he makes a lot of movies and does a lot of stuff, so that might be part of it. Cornbread, I don't think anyone actually asked yet, how are you enjoying your new Switch games? Have you picked a main guy in Mario Party yet? We actually haven't played that much Mario Party, so he's playing Princess Peach. The thing is, like, with two kids, there's always so much to do. So Sophie and I have actually been playing the board game Battleship somewhat and doing that. But she likes Princess Peach a lot. I haven't gotten to play Mario Party, but the thing is, like, if I have, like, after the stream, I have to do dishes. I want to make sure some some video stuff's done. We haven't really done it that much, but the kids, she liked Mario Party. I think she's played it the most, and she likes Princess Peach. So really, that's a Sophie question, unfortunately. But thank you for asking. Zane Powers, does Pan have good taste? Sometimes. I'm generally yes. I think the new metal stuff, I don't know, but generally yes. Jordan Salafo, if Will Smith was in The Matrix, would his Matrix rap theme be as good as the Wild Wild West theme? That's the other thing. I don't know if he could do a film like that then. I think now he could. I don't think then he could have. Aside from Gendy, who would you want to see direct Incredibles 3? Gendy. No, that was a dumb answer. Whomever is working on My Adventures with Superman, I wouldn't mind if not Beau DeMayo, but anyone else from X-Men 97. Honestly, get Phil Lord and Chris Miller also. I would say between those people. I can't think of any other actions. Oh, you know what? Whoever's doing Moon Girl, get the Moon Girl people. Let's like make it weird. Let's like the last Incredibles, like it has some really cool shots and stuff, but like that plot fucking sucked. So like get something good. I want a good script. Like get a good screenwriter. Really develop that thing. I want like don't the Screen Slayer thing. Like I get it. You don't like phones. Jesus. Anyway, sorry. Austin, did you notice earlier that when you were talking about Will Smith, I put in the chat lyrics of Wild Wild West? Yes, I did. I actually like the Kool Moe Dee Wild Wild West more than the big one. Kool Moe Dee rules. Zane Powers, do you ever worry that any of the things we ask you about will get this video demonetized? No, I don't really get those issues, although I hear people say the unalive thing and instead of guns they say pew pew and stuff. I'm just like, whatever. I think that shit's dumb, although I do curse too much. Bloxy Oxenwinkle, who do you think in Hollywood besides Will Smith should take more risks? Tom Cruise, although it sounds like he is. DiCaprio. Ryan Reynolds. I think Ryan Reynolds, honestly, his career right now kind of sucks. Like, he's just like, I've often said he is, like Burt Reynolds often talks about how when he took Terms of Endearment, he didn't take Terms of Endearment. Jack Nicholson did. He turned it down. That is when the audience lost him. And I feel like Ryan Reynolds is basically, if Burt Reynolds turned down Terms of Endearment and like actually kept succeeding, and like, because he is not challenging himself, he's just Deadpool all the time. Like, he needs to do a weird drama or something. Like, even if he fails at doing it, like, he just doesn't do that stuff anymore, and you can tell it's, like, made him a weaker actor. Like, he's good at Deadpool, but, like, who the fuck cares sometimes? I don't know. Not plausible. As an addendum to the previous statement, apparently stage curtains contained asbestos into the 1980s, so don't go romping around old abandoned theaters, I guess. Damn. I'll do... Oh, wait. Okay, I just scrolled down to William Ellman. Sorry. William Ellman says, Ruben Osterd, Bong Joon-ho, Emerald Fender are all filthy rich, out-of-touch directors that are good at mocking the rich in film. I don't know what Bong Joon-ho is... those other two... I don't... I would say are less good at it. Particularly Ruben. I never reviewed that movie he did, but it was like, yeesh. Memorable, but not... And Errol Fennell, I am not looking for that Wuthering Heights. I'm going to be real honest. That is going to be yeesh. Although I have gotten a lot of comments on my one that, the last Wuthering Heights, which was good. I forget to deal with it, but it was at least interesting. But I'm not excited for that. But I will give you the other two, but not... I think Bong Joon-ho, I don't think he's out of touch, but Parasite was really good. Anyway, cheers to you, William Wellman. That was good. That was good. Cheers to you. Okay. Sorry. Going back up. How many questions do we have? Where were we? Okay, sorry. Okay, you said that. Okay, Cineram says, why in the trailer for A Working Man does it say from the director of Suicide Squad instead of one of David Ayer's good movies, the man who directed The Beekeeper, after all? Actually, no, this is a good point because they do say from the makers of The Beekeeper, I believe. But yeah, the Suicide Squad thing, I don't know. And then he still talks about he wants his own cut. And I was just like, dude, please stop. Like, nobody wants that. Just please. Anyway, yeah, it was interesting they said that. Is Nathaniel Foga favorite plush you own? I have... Ryan Walterson made sure I had a pan and a saber. I have an Alf somewhere. I guess my kids have a Godzilla one that I got at one of the MomoCons, maybe the first one. I would say that is, but it's all that stuff goes to my kids, so I don't own. I call them stuffies or stuffed animals, but they have that. So, Cornbread, you see the new stop motion scenario Hello Kitty show coming out on Netflix. I don't know if Sophie likes it or not. I didn't know about that, but I'll check it out. That sounds interesting. I didn't know that. She's not a big... She could be. I'm sure she's seen the thing. I don't know. Zane Powers, how shocked and disappointed are you that respected visionary Mark Zuckerberg is pro-Magneto? I'm not shocked because I've always known he has... he's very self-interested. And I actually never really liked Facebook in the early days because I was against it because you had to have a college email and I refused to join until they let everyone join in because I knew a lot of people who were not in college who couldn't join. I said, if they're not going to join, I don't want to join. So I didn't. Now I'm just on it to repost links and stuff and go on old vintage Facebook groups and stuff. But I'm not really surprised at all. Zane Powers, do you agree with Movie Bob that eugenics are okay if the targets are conservative? I know his eugenics thing. Movie Bob is a mess of quotes that I don't know. I like that guy sometimes, but other times I'm like, dude, just yeah. Austin says, question: you see, Ivan from Day Job posted an episode. I suggested a Knock Force crossover with Day Job where you watch Merlin. He responded with, they watched The Reader. How do we get this crossover happen? I would be down. That would need a sign off for me, I guess. But I don't know. It'd be interesting. I will go check out that video tomorrow, I guess. The Lex Winkle, my best friend / life partner, and I watched The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and really enjoyed it. Do you have a recommendation for another silent film we should watch next? I mean, I guess obviously Nosferatu. Faust is good. If we're going in the creepy kind of weird thing. I would say Nosferatu is the obvious choice. I kind of want to give you a better thing than just saying that, because it's like, I don't know all the other German expressionism. I mean, Metropolis is great. Just go do Metropolis. You want a weird one if you're doing category. Do Metropolis. Metropolis fucking rules. Remember when Zane Powers, when Michael Eisner and Job Chapek were ousted for their string of bad decisions and unpopular public image? What magic pill did Zaslav take to avoid that fate? He sucks up the shareholders. That's basically it. Austin, last question. You see Galaxy Media did a video on Pirates of Dark Water. I did. I wish they were just Toy Galaxy. I don't like their Secret Galaxy thing. That's dumb. Cornbread. I almost forgot. Wasn't it messed up when the Joker or Weasel or something showed up in Creature Comforts and got eaten by the clay thing? Okay. Nathaniel Fogo, were you planning on seeing Scream 7 when it releases? I'm not sure. Zane Powers, thoughts on the guy who oversaw the Sony Spider-Man universe and Tom Holland's contact point leaving Sony? I think it makes sense, to be honest with you. Nathaniel Fogo, if Will Smith was in The Matrix, who would have been in Wild Wild West? That's okay. Interesting question, Nathaniel Fogo. In 99? To get that budget, maybe a Jim Carrey, maybe a Clooney, maybe Mark Wahlberg, but there's no one like who could. I think it had to have been Will Smith, or it wouldn't have happened. So, Zane Powers, if Harold and the Purple Crayon wasn't eligible for the Oscars, what categories would have won? I mean, Best Actor, obviously, and then like a bunch of other stuff. Why didn't you talk about the MoviePass guy pleading guilty? I don't know why I didn't do that. It's a good question, man. It's a good point. And I even tweeted about it. I'm not sure. Anyway, the guy who ruined MoviePass got arrested. Sorry. Nathaniel Fogo, what's a film you're looking forward to the most this year? I don't know. See, the problem is with that is like, I would do one of those, but I was like, I always feel like you just say the big stuff and then the stuff that really blows you away. I mean, the two Sonnenbergs, I think, is kind of my big one. And I'm curious about Captain America, to be honest with you, and Dogman and The Day the Earth Blew Up. I'm excited to watch with my kids. So, I notice people are like so down on cartoony movies. Like, anytime I tell someone I want to watch this movie with my kids, it's like Dogman or something, people are like, oh, that one. It's like, I don't understand why people are against cartoony stuff. It's like so much more experimental and interesting. And it's like people are just like not down. I think they're, anyway. It's not a video, it's a reel? What? Okay. Zane Powers, in Red Letters Media's video on Nosferatu, Mike talked about this awful theater experience that was miserable, like eating popcorn slightly loud. Would that ruin your movie watching too? I don't, like, if someone's bothered me, I just get up and move, which I've noticed does actually make people feel bad. So, all right. I do need to do a review of Nosferatu. All right, I think that's it. Oh, fuck, it's 1 o'clock. All right, I need to do dishes and like go to bed and stuff. I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm sorry it's always late. It's like I sort of had to move this whole setup to a different room, and I was already setting up in the kitchen, and I realized everyone was going to bed, and I was just like, yeah. But I feel like this was a good show, and I feel like this worked out. So I think next week will be probably a Thursday one. I'll try to figure out what I'm going to do with Oscar nominations and stuff. By then, we might just get another stream. I want to do a Saturday show this month, but I don't think that's going to happen. So maybe at some point in the future, we'll see. But I want to thank everyone who gave a super chat. Those people being Bloxy Oxenwinkle, always with the first one, Daniel Vasquez, and Sinram for the interesting Titanic sidebar. Austin, thank you for saying nice. New Mutant Shirt, JJ Panda, thank you very much. As well as Austin, Mandela Butterfly, Austin, Cineram again, William Ellman, Zane Powers, William Ellman, and Austin for, I should have said Austin again because you did that several times as well. Anyway, thank you so much for all your super chats. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching this past week. I think there'll be 2 videos tomorrow, but they'll be short things. And I hopefully have a bunch of stuff out this weekend. But if not, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and liking and all that stuff. I'll see you guys next time. You guys have a good night. You have a good weekend. Take care of yourselves. Bundle up or watch out. And subscribe if, you would like to. See you next time. Bye.